Good morning, all. Welcome to one day webinar on emerging trends in natural products research. Today, we are fortunate enough to have Dr. Mrutyunjaya, HOD, Department of Pharmacognosy, JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore, and Dr. Chidambaramurthy with us, who are sharing their research knowledge and their experience with us. Now, before going to the technical session, I request our principal madam to address the audience. Madam, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sudha. Yeah, it's my great honor to welcome today's speaker, Dr. K. Mrutyunjaya and Dr. N. Chidambaramurthy, valuable lectures. Mrutyunjaya is going to deliver lecture on integration of traditional medicine with allopathic system of medicine, the way forward. And Dr. N. Chidambaram Murthy garu is going to deliver lecture on herbs as source for medicines. So a most welcome management and the faculty of RBVRR Women's College of Pharmacy for today's session, sir. And I extend my warm welcome to all the participants and colleagues to attend this webinar to make it grand success. Yeah. Now coming to in choosing of this topic is mainly to aware the professionals what is the status of this natural product research in the country as well as outside the country. As we all know that as pharmacy professionals, the natural products is nothing but the lead molecule for any drug which we are using in the market now. So in olden days, the research is completely different when compared to the present research trends. So olden days, we are always focusing what is the source for any new molecule. But nowadays, we are looking for in fast whatever the molecules are available in the market just by structural modifications we are doing and we are getting another new molecule. But here we should know that what is the status of these natural products which are available as leads at present scenario. Now, if you see that any compound which we are using like malaria, anti-malarial drugs, as well as the antibiotics and whatever the terpenoids which are using as essential oils. So these are all having the natural source. So now these eminent speakers are going to make us what is the status exactly in India. So what are the new things are coming as natural sources for upcoming new molecules. So and one more thing is why we need to know about this source. So this source is the main thing why you can get the new molecule with less side effects. So the way we are going to attend this webinar is to know that what is exactly uh, the scenario in natural products. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now, I request my colleague, Dr. Vijaya Bhargavi, HOD, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, to introduce the speaker. Welcome, Bhargavi.
Thank you, madam. It's my honor to introduce today's speaker, Professor K. Mrutyunjaya. Sir completed M.Pharm in Pharmacognosy in the year 1999 from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, and PhD in 2009 from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka, Bangalore. Presently, Sir is working as a professor and H in the Department of Pharmacognosy at JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore, which is a constituent college of JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research. He is also heading the pharmacy services in JSS Hospital, Mysore, as in charge of drug center. He has 22 years of teaching and research experience. His area of research is identifying, screening, and validation of antioxidant herbs with various pharmacological properties. So far, more than 20 antioxidant herbs were screened for their various biological properties, especially for their hepatoprotective anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory activities. He has guided and co-guided 22 MPharm students and around 18 PG scholars in the medical and as well as the dental life sciences. He has guided and co-guided 10 PhD scholars. He is also visiting faculty of Government Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Mysore. He is a member of editorial board of many national journals and reviewer of many reputed journals. He is a member of many profession bodies like IPA, APTI, ISP, KSRP. He is also a joint secretary of APTA South India since 2016 and a co-coordinator of Society of Ethnopharmacology Mysore local chapter. He is nominated as a member of Board of Studies for B.Pharm of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka from September 2021. He is also a member of Academic Council and BYS of JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research. Sir presented several papers in national and international conferences and published 86 research and review articles in peer-reviewed journals, one patent and two book chapters. Sir received 20 lakh grant to carry out research from All India Council of Technical Education, New Delhi under Research Promotion Scheme. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite today's speaker, Professor K. Mrutyunjaya, HOD, Department of Pharmacognosy, JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore, to deliver his talk on integration of traditional medicine with allopathic system of medicine, a way forward. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Bhargavi, for your elaborate introduction. So it is not a brief introduction. So I hope I can start my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity uh, to principal VRBR College of Pharmacy and also the panelist. So I'll share my presentation now. Hope my presentation is seen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So before going to this presentation, as the introduction it was given, basically it is not a research data that I am presenting, but it is one of the very very important topic and the matter of concern, especially for we pharmacists and pharmacognosy people, because this is what is the future, and to be there in the future, we should be prepared for it. That is why I'm presenting this data. So integration of traditional medicine with allopathic medicine, way forward, are the scenario. My presentation will be having uh, why integration topics. These are the contents that I cover: current status and statistics in the world and India, how to integrate, and challenges ahead, and what next, that is way forward. So this is the content of my presentation. So the integrative medicine, when it said, it is coined by the consortium of academic health centers for integrative medicine as the practice of medicine that reaffirms the importance of the relationship between, focuses on the whole person, is informed by the evidence, and makes use of all appropriate therapeutic approaches, healthcare professionals and disciplines to achieve optimal health and healing. So this is the 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 end line or the bottom tag or the final thing: to achieve optimal health and healing. So it is integration is it is a not just a combining, but it is looking at the evidence and seeking that what best is required for the to achieve the optimal health and healing. So that is what is important. It is not just merely combining, two, three different systems of medicines or the medicine or drugs and give it. But for that, a lot of research, a lot of evidence needs to be created. In simple way, this integrative medicine, we expect that supposedly leading to synergistic therapeutic effects. So this is what we want to achieve. Not only synergy in achieving the therapeutic effect, but the one of the other beneficial uh, angle is it may also reduce the toxicity of the allopathic drugs. So these are the ways that how we can utilize this the herbal medicines or the alternative systems of medicine and integrate with the allopathy for the achieving the optimal health and healing or getting a synergistic therapeutic effects. So why we have to do, especially in context to India, where the health infrastructure is actually deficient. So we get a ease of access. Why integration means when you combine these systems of medicines, Ayush in India we're talking about, and the allopathic system. So we are more, we will achieve the, you know, the hospitals will be more, doctors will be more, treatment, technology, all, the common public, they have the ease of access. Why? Because you are combining the different systems of medicine. So now what is happening, see, the all, the whatever 69 70,000 hospitals in India, so it is only allopathic hospitals. So added to that, if you, the clinics and hospitals of Ayush hospitals, if you join, so they have the ease of access to hospitals in one particular system. So you'll be having more doctors, both allopathic doctors as well as the Ayush doctors. So you get treatment, the quick treatment, better treatment, and of course technology. When I talk about technology, see, the modern labs and the technology of diagnosis and all is there in the, it is just residing in the allopathic hospitals. So even if you go to Ayush hospital, Ayurveda hospital, for any lab diagnosis, they'll send you to other labs or to the other hospitals where you have to get the uh, your clinical testing done, and again lab testing done, and come back to the hospital. So these are the things that will vanish. But when all the both the systems comes together, so there will be more number of doctors, more number of hospitals, so easy availability of the technology and treatment. So for this is all the second thing, because of this, so definitely the patient outcome will be, it's going to improve, it's going to be better, so better treatment, and it may reduce side effects, achieve more therapeutic the efficacy, and in total you can improve the quality of life of patient. And very important thing is, it's a holistic approach in our systems of medicines. Like, in WHO, the definition of health is like, it is a physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being, but which has been spelled out or defined 5,000 years before itself in our classical texts, that what is actually the health. It is not just physical, so you have to mentally, spiritually. So that point which is missing actually in the allopathic system of medicine can now be a advantage when these two systems can come together. So you can think of personalized medicine, prevention, healthy living. Of course, in homeopathy, so actually this healthy living, they have not spelled, but our systems, Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani, healthy living, actually they are given first preference, second is prevention, third is the treatment. So these are the things which are coming to the picture when these integration happen. Whereas in allopathy, once you get disease, then you go to doctor. So they very less is spoken about, prevention and healthy living. So which are the components of our Ayush system. So combining these is a very significant thing in achieving health for all, the statement of WHO. So in Indian healthcare system, what is happening, and Ayush, so 1.38 million practitioners are there. So whereas only 4,035 hospital, it is as on 2018, because that statistics what we got. It may be a little more now, but the statistics and percentage remain same. Whereas 1.25 million practitioners and 69,000 hospitals. This is allopathic hospital. So 69,000, 1.25. So whatever it is, this is not sufficient to treat 1.3 billion Indian population. So, but if you look at it, 1.338 million practitioners, Ayush practitioners, and 1.25 million allopathic practitioners. You club, so okay, the hospital number of hospital is not going to increase much. So it's just around 73,000. Just 4,000 hospitals will be added, but number of practitioners is going to be double. That means the patient and doctor ratio is coming down to 50%. This is the greatest advantage that what we have when we combine the systems of medicine. As I told, for 1.38 billion, so 1.25 million doctors is very, very less. So, and whatever these hospitals are there, they are in the urban areas, not in the hospitals. So Indian health infrastructure is deficient, that we have to accept. And rural area, I mean, in India, it is struggling with a severe shortage of medical specialists. Even if some clinics are there, they are just not of specialists, maybe of degree holders, so you will not get a specialist over there. It's primary healthcare centers, very small clinics in the rural. Whereas, so if you look at the report, sorry, so it says that 70% of the rural population, they are not having access to these doctors. So in comparison to the shortfall of these specialistic doctors, whereas Ayush specialists are far better represented in rural areas. So Ayush doctors, they have more access. Actually, they are present more in the villages, because allopathic doctors, they do not practice much. That's a big problem in India. But Ayush doctors, yes, they are their visibility is there in the rural India. So that is why it is an advantage. Now, this grossly deficient health workforces in rural India can be replenished by Ayush doctors and paramedics. So this is the advantage of combining. Before going into some more statistics, so I just see the words which are used in different parts of the world: traditional medicine and complementary medicine. So traditional medicine is used in the maintenance of health, as well as in the prevention, diagnosis, improvement, or treatment of physical and mental illness. So this is entirely a system of medicine. This is not alternative to any other system of medicine. So it is a sum of total of the knowledge, skill, practice based on the theories, beliefs, and experiences of indigenous different cultures. Okay, but whereas complementary medicine, when something is not available, you can go for other. That is alternative. Complementary means it is not the exact substitute of one system. So it is just complementing the main system of medicine. So that is the complementary medicine. So these practices are not part of that country's own tradition or conventional medicine, and are not fully integrated into dominant healthcare system. So what is the meaning? Say for example, in India we have Ayurveda. It is our own system of medicine, and it is fully integrated into the dominant healthcare system. So it is a traditional system of medicine. It is not complementary, or it is not alternative. It's a own system of medicine. So it cannot be substituted by the other system of medicine. It has its own the principles and theory, and so the system of medicine. So that is the difference between traditional medicine, complementary or alternative system of medicines. In total, these two can be called as TCM. So this TCM has got strong historical and cultural roots, as you see in Ayurveda, global acceptability and applicability. So the TCM is an important primary healthcare resource to many populations and has been recognized as a component of achieving health for all since coup declaration of Alma Ata. Alma Ata is a city in Kazakhstan. Then, I mean, so there the declarations happened that by 2000 actually. So health for all has to be achieved. Of course, in India, to larger extent we achieved, but in different parts of the world, it still is not achieved. In some areas, these traditional practitioners are the first contact, sometimes the only health providers available. So this is very, very important. So they do not have any access to the modern system of medicine. It's only the point of contact is the local, healthcare providers or the systems of traditional systems of medicine. Now coming to the system, like how these herbal medicines or the TCM, traditional and complementary systems of medicines, are evolving and spreading, it is really encouraging thing for the integration at least. So who World Health Organization has 194 the members. In that 169 countries, they acknowledge the use of traditional and complementary system of medicine, TCM, 87%. That's a huge. So that means in the world, 87% of the countries, they acknowledge, they use the TCM. So that's the important thing which we have to keep in our mind when we are talking about integration. Around 100 member states have national policy and on TCM. So that means they have it's very well recognized, very well practiced. It has got a policy. Like again, we have Ayush system, Ayush policy, Ayush ministry itself is there. So it is well recognized and it has got a policy, national policy on the Ayush. So like that, in 100 countries, they have a policy on TCM. And in 124 countries, so they have a national regulation of herbal medicine. They do not have a pakka like this policy like 100 countries, but these extra 124 countries, so they have regulations. It's a rule governing the use of herbal medicines. Now if you look at it, I'm just given examples, the percentage of population that are using uh, TCM. In Colombia, it is 40%. In Chile, it is 71%. Canada, 70. And Europe and countries almost like 49 to 53% is there. Australia 48, United States 42. Different continents I'm looking at. But if you look at Asia, so it is more than 80%. Okay, the use of traditional system of medicine. So that crosses actually in India, it is more than 90%. So this is what is the statistics, that is using how many, what is the population they use the TCM. Now in Africa, there 80% of the population they uses TCM. That is basically as a primary health care, and majority of the people, on 60%, they use traditional herbs as a first line of medication, like countries like Ghana, Mali, Nigeria, Zambia. These are all African countries. And look at these statistics. The developed countries like San Francisco, cities in London, South Africa, around 75% of HIV positive or AIDS patients, they use traditional and complementary medicines. So very significant one, this statement. So that means they believe they are working, they increasing the immunity, whatever, they increasing the quality of the life. So 75% of the patients in San Francisco, London, South Africa affected with HIV, they use TCM. In China, very huge percent of population they use TCM. One very significant statistics you can look at here: 2002, during the SARS infection, 58.3% of the SARS patient, they received a Chinese medicine. So more, I mean, it's more than 50%. 58% means it's almost around 60%. They used Chinese medicine to treat the SARS. In Malaysia, people spend more on traditional medicine than allopathic drugs. So that's what I told. In Asia, more people population they use TCM. Now this is the distribution. Wherever this green is there, this is where the countries they use the herbal medicine. They have some policies and regulations. So very surprisingly, in US they do not have a particular policy, but they are doing exceptionally well in integrating the uh, Ayurvedic, the TCM with the mainstream medicine. They are really on ground. They're executing it in many hospitals. So they are treating the patients holistically, involving both these systems of medicine, including Ayurveda, Chinese system, Japanese system, Kung Fu medicine, and allopathic. They're really integrating and using, but they do not have a separate policy on TCM, but really they are doing very well as far as the integration of TCM or the with allopathic drugs. Now, these two, the graphs they show that from 1999 to 2018, that how the usage of the TCM has been accepted and it is growing. You can look at it in 1999. So this is as per the WHO report. There are only 25 countries that acknowledge the use of TCM, and they have got a laws or regulations. But you look at here, so by 2018, 109 countries, so they have a national policy of TCM. Similarly, the countries which have regulations, this already I showed you 124 countries, but only 65 countries were having regulations during 1999, but for a period of 25, less than 25 years, so it is almost double. I mean, that means the more and more evidence is being created, more and more awareness is being created, the results are spreading, and the efficacy is improving, quality is improving. That's the reason why there is a surge in the traditional systems of medicine, or what you call TCM, all over the world, all over the world. So coming to the prescriptions like allopathic drugs, the link between the herbs and the plants, or the natural medicines and the allopathic drugs, about 25% of prescription drugs found globally are derived from plant sources. Nearly 121 molecules are there in the market now, as of now, so which are derived from the plant. Many of you already know, so I need not to give examples, and including many anti-cancer drugs to many other drugs. So they are derived or directly obtained from the plant. So clinical trials are going on for more than 100 natural product based drugs, and it is estimated that 11 percentage of the total 250 drugs, 52 drugs found in essential medicine list of WHO, are exclusively of plant origin. So these three statements, why I have put it here is, now, when people are talking, that we say that these herbal drugs are not effective, herbal drugs are having toxicity, or they are low acting, slow acting, whatever. Many things they talk. If that is the case, look at the contribution. So that statement is not correct. The plants are very potent, therapeutically very potent, pharmacologically very very effective. That's how there are so many number of drugs are there in the market till today. So for many molecules, there is no alternate at all. So when the plants can produce such a wonderful molecules, why can't it be effective? How can you say that the plants are not effective or they are not efficacious? So that is the reason. So the plants are actually very potent. They can be on par utilized as compared to allopathic drugs. And what is the statistics says? I put here underdeveloped countries, developing countries like India, developed countries. Now the nomenclature actually changed. They call it as industrialized countries, industrializing countries, something like that. But so the African countries like West and East African, East African countries, and India and developed countries, all these, one common thing is large number of people are using herbal drugs, whether it is a developed country, a developing country, or underdeveloped country. Use of herbal drugs is increasing day by day all over the world. These two are common for globally. It's a same uh, thing, common thing which is seen. Whereas in underdeveloped countries, this TCM, they are used as a primary source of treatment, only for the primary care, where they, because they do not have access to specialized care. So primary health care, so they are wholly dependent in many countries. So they are wholly dependent on these TCMs, whatever. So whereas in the developed countries, TCM are actually they are used basically for well-beingness or for the prevention of disease, or not actually as a therapeutics. So this is the very striking difference in the world. In one part of the world they use it for health and well-being, not as a therapeutics. But in the one part of the world, so these are the main therapeutics, to at least to treat the whatever in the primary healthcare centers. So this is a drastic change, but actually what is correct, both are correct, they can be used for health and well maintaining the health and to well-beingness, as well as they can be used to treat the illness and diseases. That's where we have to come to consensus, and during the integration. And the statement from Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, he is the Director General of WHO. He says countries aiming to integrate the best of TCM and conventional medicine, means allopathic medicine, would do well to look not only at the many differences between the two systems. He says, don't look at the two differences in the two systems, TCM and allopathy, but also at areas where both converge to help tackle the unique health challenges of the 21st century. So there are going to be, you know, many health challenges, unique health challenges which are not seen before in 21st century, which he told much before the corona. Now we're getting corona, we may get a new disease, whatever. So for to accept those challenge and tackle the challenge, uh, if you work as independently, we are not going to achieve very successfully. So it's very much necessary that TCM and the conventional medicine has to come together, so and provide an option, that which is the best option to treat the disease, to prevent the disease. So that can be considered. It is not that allopathy is best and or the TCM is best. Whichever is best for that particular case and scenario, we can opt, and there should be an option. That's what Tedros Adhanom, Director General of WHO, has stated, and that's why with that I want to go into the integration in the world scenario. Now in Mongolia, so actually the TCM kits, I mean drugs, traditional drugs are included in the kit, and they are provided to maintain the health. So the associated with the Nippon Foundation. So they say family medical kits. In that, they have put this traditional medicines of that country, Mongolian ministry. So they have given in that kit, and they provide for the maintenance of health and to treat the some of the uh, common ailments or diseases exist in that particular part of the country. So this is the national policy. Okay, what I mean to say, this kit is not only containing the herbal medicine or TCM. That kit contains also allopathic drugs. So this is what I mean to say. So in Myanmar, again, traditional medicine kits have been distributed to rural villages to provide access to common traditional medicine suitable for acute conditions. Now, look at here. Many people will believe that this herbal medicine or TCM or Ayurveda, whatever, that is for good for chronic diseases. Acute, they will not act, but they are good for both. So, acute conditions also can be treated very well with the TCM. That is what being practiced in the Myanmar. In Malaysia, already this TCM is been integrated into public healthcare center. So that means if you go to a public healthcare center, it is not only allopathic system of medicine. There is a TCM doctor or healthcare provider. So you have an option, and whichever is the easiest, better, and simple treatment can be given, whether it is from allopathy or from the TCM. So it has already been integrated in Malaysia. In China, yes, they have an option here. Traditional medicine practitioners are allowed to practice both in public and private clinics and hospitals. So now you look at the India, actually you do not have an access or entry from allopathy to Ayurveda or Ayush to uh, allopathy. So you cannot practice. Ayurvedic doctor cannot practice in allopathic hospital, and reverse is the case. So they are fully, entirely different. There is no connection anywhere between these two. That is the scenario in India. But in China, though China is a very dangerous country, you know that. What reasons, I don't want to discuss that, but there is a learning from China that how they are actually allowing the TCM or the traditional system of medicine practitioners and modern system of medicine practitioners together. They are practicing in the same setup. That is actually praiseworthy. And in the public patients, they are free to choose whether they want to go for Chinese medicine or conventional medicine, that is allopathic medicine. So the doctors are just, they explain, okay, this is what is this, and this can be cured by this is what, which is better. Now it is up to the patient, like he can choose, which medicine he has to opt for. Really, it's a praiseworthy. And look at this last statement. The number of visits to traditional medicine health facilities in China, it was 907 million in 2009. I mean, later I didn't get, that's why I put 2009. So it may be very high now. So means 90 crore people, they have visited traditional medicine health facilities in China. Why I'm stressing on these points is, any system medicine, especially the ancient system medicine, what we have in India or China, Japan, they are very, very, efficacious if they are, provided properly. So, very, better results can be obtained if you practice that in the way that it has to be. So that is the point which I want to make it. Not just, if something is not available, you take something. That is not the case. If allopathy is not available, then you take Ayush. Or if Ayush is not available, you take the allopathy. That's not the point which I'm stressing. So wherever the advantage is there, that we have to uh, capitalize on that. So coming to United States, as I told earlier, they are really practicing the integration in the way that how it has to be. In a slowly but steadily, they are doing it from last 3 to 4 decades. Like in a hospital setup, everybody out there. So there is acupuncturist, there is a Ayurvedic doctor, there is a natural medicine fellow, and of course the modern medicine, doctors, all together, they treat a patient. That's really, again, highly appreciative. And there are many institutions which offer a degree in different natural systems of medicine. So look at here, doctor of acupuncture, doctor of acupuncture with Chinese herbal medicine specialization, master of acupuncture. You look at your post baccalaureate certificate in Ayurveda wellness practices. So there are many institutes in US. They are offering. The beauty of this, not just offering the program. These get into the system of treating the patient. It is not like that you do a course and then do you something else. No, they are trained in such a way that these TCMs can be how they can be integrated into the allopathy for the better outcome of a patient, so are improving the quality of life of patient. So that's what is very very important. So in Maryland University of Integrative Health itself is their department, so. And then Thomas Jefferson University, Philadelphia, they have MS in Integrative Health Sciences, Advanced Nutrition based therapies, and aroma therapies. So many different combinations. Like once you, after learning that, the course, you directly enter into the clinical setup and practice. And Econ School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. So there is a 9-month in-depth course for physicians. Look at here. This course is not for anybody, but course is for physicians, nurses, and other health professionals, where they undergo the training in the integrative healthcare. So already they know the science of modern medicine, and then they are going to study the integrative healthcare. So definitely he can treat the patient better because he's having the knowledge of both the systems how they work. And in there is one program called an elective in integrative medicine. It's a tailor-made elective in integrative medicine, chosen from nutrition or and mind body medicine and other areas. All these areas, clubbing together, they made a course, uh, you know of this traditional system medicines, and how to integrate with the allopathy system medicine. And NIH, National Institute of Health US department, so they have called NCCIH. So that means National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health. Now here basically they are creating evidences. They're doing a lot of research. Everybody are coming together, especially working on cancer patients, utilizing this TCM to for the better patient outcome. So they are, the mission of NCCH is to determine through rigorous scientific investigation the fundamental science, usefulness, and safety of complementary and integrative health approaches and their roles in improving health and healthcare. So they are working on evidence-based information on complementary and integrative health interventions. So they are working on evidences whether that can be used. What is the evidence from thousands of years? How that evidence can be confirmed and utilized. So they are really working great in that aspect. And there is one university called Kingdom University of Natural Medicine in US. And look at the different courses here. Uh, really appreciating you because in India uh, hardly I see different programs, and they are dependent on many things. Here they are independent. Look at here, fast track BS/MS degrees in herbal medicine, Bachelor of Science in herbal medicine, Master of Science in herbal medicine, PhD in herbology, aromatherapy, PhD degree in herbal medicine, herbalist certification, aromatherapist certification, natural medicine, BSMS, PhD in natural medicine. See, look at here. Though India is very rich in its diverse, it is called as the botanical garden of the world. So it has got a diverse plants, and so much of diversity is there in the herbs, and our system of medicines, they use these herbs as a drug since thousands of years, but we are not doing actually transforming that benefit of that knowledge or the herbal medicine to the common people or the patients. That's not going, and I've not seen any such universities in a large number coming together, exploring in providing a training so that our doctors or healthcare providers can get that acquire that knowledge and then utilize that in treating the patient. So that is not been happening. So the one more statistics with this I give, and I jump to next topic. This is a Breville collaborative, a philanthropic organization. They did a survey in 29 integrative medicine centers in US. So this is in 2011. So they selected 29 integrative medicine centers, and some questionnaires and data analysis they did. So what is that is, out of these 29 integrative medicine centers, 28 centers, that is 97% of these, they have provided geriatric services. Okay, so that means almost all centers, they have a geriatric care centers. They had 25 centers, adolescent care was provided. In 21 centers, obstetrics and gynecologist was provided. 18% they provided pediatric care. Okay, in 62% in 18 centers. So in these centers, what is the coverage, to what kind of patients actually they cater the services? So that is a survey. So this is what is they got out of it. There are many questions. I have selected these two questions which are very, very important. The survey asked about the use of 34 different interventions in treating 20 different conditions. Which therapies were used for which conditions? This was the question. What is this question? For 20 different conditions, like chronic pain, depression, stress, cancer, pain, sciatica, the migraine, heart attack, whatever, like that, serious problem, diabetes, like that, 20 different conditions. They have analyzed the data and asked the people which type of therapy actually they have provided. Look at here, the number one intervention in treating these conditions is food and nutrition. I'm very happy about this. Why? Again, it goes back to our principles in India. Like in India, we knew this fact that food is the medicine. So with just food, we can treat and cure and prevent many diseases. That has been very well established in 2011 itself. For these 20 different conditions, the first therapy that which can be used is food and nutrition. So this is one, because our Indian food is actually like a medicine, because we eat spices, we eat many things which are having medicinal value. Then comes the supplements like vitamin, antioxidants, proteins, that supplements. Third is yoga and meditation. And look at here, I have marked red here, TCM in fifth position. I mean, traditional system of medicine, TCM, traditional complementary system, it is used uh, then in a fifth position, means to address these 20 different diseases. Last option is actually pharmaceuticals, means without pharmaceuticals, means allopathic drugs. Remember this, without allopathy, use of allopathic drugs, you can treat 20 different conditions. Okay, so this is the last option actually. So above that there's massage, above that is TCM. That means what actually it implies is you can use very well the TCM, the herbal drugs, the traditional drugs. You can use it before pharmaceuticals. So pharmaceuticals has to be last option. So that means actually TCMs, they work better than the pharmaceuticals. So this is the take home message from this question. And then, of course, what type of the illness or condition that use these different interventions for to treat the chronic pain. To treat the chronic pain, these different interventions were used. The first one is the chronic pain, means more people suffer from chronic pain. And then with GIT, now look at here, GIT is very well goes with food. That means if your food is good, your GIT also will be good. So you can address this. Once this GIT is good, then other things all will be good. So that's very, very important. And then depression, stress, and cancer. That means these are the five diseases out of 20 where majority of the people suffer from. So these are five. To treat these five before pharmaceuticals, you have to look at TCM. So that is what is the message which I would like to give from this slide. The Society for Integrative Oncology, this is another research and institute, is primarily it's working with multidisciplinary community of oncologists, nurses, psychologists, social workers, nutritionists, complementary therapy practitioners, very important, naturopathic doctors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, epidemiologists, researchers. So, community oncologists, the doctors, nurses, of course, these have to be there in any hospital setup. But then what is important is complementary therapy practitioners, naturopathy doctors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, epidemiologists, research. Everybody, they are working to treat a patient. Okay, that is, of course, it is very specifically on cancer. So they achieved actually very good success when they are all these people working together and using different modalities to treat the cancer patients. So this institute is doing well, and you can go to this website because a lot of details are there, plant details, plenty of plants they are given, which plant what for they are using and all, which I'm not showing here because huge number of plants have been used to treat the patients. So you can go to this website www.integrative.onc.org. So you can have that list of plants here. So what is necessary? There has to be a strong affiliation to hospitals, healthcare systems, medical and nursing schools, as well as centers for collaborative work with growing referrals. Integrative medicine is now an established part of healthcare in United States. And what is the one fact is you look at here, I have highlighted here, integrative medicine is in fact integrative. That means really the different systems they are integrating, not just combining. Remember, it is combining just mixing. No, not that, but they're really coming together, evaluating, they're evolving. What is best. So how we can combine this TCM and the other systems of medicines with the allopathy for the better patient outcome. So it integrates conventional care with non-conventional care, non-Western and ancient healing wisdom with modern science, and it targets on whole person, mind, body, and spirit in the context of community. So you can read this paper for more information. So what we learn from world and US is in Asia, in most of the countries, TCM is utilized in primary healthcare centers. Either TCM or conventional medicines are used for acute conditions, and in many countries like Malaysia, China, there is option given to patients like they can choose which medicine they want. Both TCM and allopathic medicines are practiced together. And US, already I told you, their magnitude of research is very high. They're creating evidence of the benefit of this TCM. They're doing surveys, their documentation very, very precise. Their collaboration is the best. So with all these things, actually, they are really integrating slowly but steadily. They are doing very well. So we can take lessons from that, and while integrating, allopathy with our eye system. So definitely these will play things. Now coming to the Indian scenario, uh, just I'll give you a glimpse of it. What is this Ayush industry or scenario? There are 4,000 hospitals earlier I told, but this is as per the Ayush portal, Ministry of Ayush. There are around close to 4,000 hospitals and 27,199 uh, dispensaries, 1.38 million practitioners, 914 colleges, 52,000 students, around 9,000 manufacturing units, and budget is very less. Okay, we have to do that. And around 756 research projects were going on are completed till 25th June 2021. And India, as I told you already, contains large number of medicinal plants. So around 18,000 types of plants are having. Out of that, 6,000 to 7,000 have therapeutic properties. Out of that, 960 medicine plants are traded. So out of this, 178 species have got yearly consumption of more than 100 metric tons. That means it's a huge amount. And the demand increased by 50%, while availability declined by 26%. And medicinal plant market is growing at very high rate. And by 2026, so there will be a 14 billion. The trade is going to be around 14 billion. And the world herbal market is expected to reach 7 trillion by 2050. So that's very huge. Now it is in billions and it will go to trillions. And for 540 major herbal drug industries and 9,500 registered herbal practitioners are there. 3,000 herbal formulations. Look at here. 3,000 herbal formulations are registered in ICE till 2020. It will be definitely close to 4,000 by now. Okay, because many inventions are coming up and they're doing it. And this is, more than 25,000 formulations are there. And one important thing during COVID, this Indian Medicines Pharmaceutical Corporation Limited, a registered body of government, so this registered a sales of close to 70 crore uh, just by March to August 2020. So that's around 4 to 5 months. So 70 crore supplies it has done. That is only of the herbal products. What it implies is during the COVID, you might have seen that there is a surge in the use of herbal medicines, and quite a lot of data, excuse me, that says that this traditional medicine has really cured or protected people by increasing the immunity. There are many drugs which people used during COVID. Now again, coming back to the some more statistics. So 70% of modern drugs are discovered from natural sources. More than 60% of cancer drugs are available in market, and 80% of antimicrobial, immunosuppressive, cardiovascular, and anti-drugs are derived from plant sources. So the huge 80% of antimicrobials, immunosuppressive, cardiovascular, anti-cancer drugs are derived from plant sources. So that means plants are again a very potent, very potent. More than 70% entities among 177 anti-cancer drugs are approved or based on natural products, drugs. And these are some of the examples, like uh, the herbal formulations are developed with many uh, reputed institutions. So what it shows is, like, there are many formulations which are coming up, and these are marketed by big companies, allopathic companies itself. Say for example, Thimis Chemicals. So they are into anesthetics and painkillers. They are actually trading this emal, that is anti-malarial drug. So That means they believe in that, that it works. And for hyperlipidemia, Google lipid, it is working well. But again, like when it goes to therapeutic setup, all these drugs and formulations are not available. Okay, these are available. Anybody can go and pick up in the medical shop, Ayurvedic medical shop, and use it. But when it comes to prescription, now these drugs are not being utilized. So that is what I want to show you, these products, like, which are very very potent, which are a lot of efficacy, but these are not reaching to the people. Why? Because these are not prescribed. These are not prescribed. Only allopathic drugs are prescribed. So that is the reason we need to make a policy that how we have to utilize such potent drugs to address actually serious problems of the Indian population or a global population. So this BGR34, it's the invention of NBRI and CMAC. It's a very good potent anti-diabetic drug. Now it is marketed by Emil company. But you look at it now, who is going to take it? So everywhere the diabetic patients, if you go, they will take the allopathic drug, oral hypoglycemic agents, or finally they go to insulin. So though the drugs are potent, herbal drugs are potent, they are not being used. So this is where and what we have to address in the future when integration of Ayush happens, with allopathic drugs happens. So that is what the point about I made. Traditional medicine is also offered as a choice to the people seeking healthcare at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. The current national policy 2017 prioritizes including traditional medicine person to cater to the primary healthcare needs of urban populations. So they given, like any Ayush doctor, he can cater to the primary healthcare needs. So the government of India actually is promoting the integration in a very different ways and many ways. So its budget is one of the important thing to understand, that how this government is very keen in promoting this integration. So Ayush department, it is having now 10,044 crores, 10,000 plus crore budget, which is 235% more than the 11th plan, that is 2012 to 17. Now it is very high. So with this all, what the government of India is and Ayush department is doing, they are appointing Ayurvedic doctors and paramedics in the primary healthcare delivery system and in national health programs. They are utilizing the Ayush doctors in national reproductive and child health and population stabilization programs. And they are including several traditional drugs in the national and reproductive child health, and inclusion of Ayush drugs in Asha kits. And they are including many drugs in the schemes like Janani Suraksha Yojana, ICDS Ayush, reproductive child health. Many of these Ayush drugs they are including in these kits, so that they are not only promoting, actually their use is there. They are actually benefiting to the patients and public, and they are improving the health. That is why government of India is including many kits and drugs into the kits like this. And this is what is the slide. After that, there's very less discussion is there, but I'll kindle this. What is the contrast? If you Google, if you put use of herbal drugs in India, you get searches. What it says is more than 70% of India's 1.1 billion population, they still use non-allopathic system of medicine. Again, look at this. More than 70% of India's 1.1 billion population, this is in 2015, it's old, they use non-allopathic system of medicine. Now, look at the other thing. If you search, 90% of Indians prefer allopathy over Ayush. This is published in 2015. In, of course, there is a paper which is also published. I'll show you. So, one search it says more than 70% of India's 1.1 billion population, they use non-allopathic system of medicine. The other, the the literature or publication says 90% of Indian prefer allopathy over Ayush. Okay, so further look at here, the hospitalized, the percentage distribution of spells of ailments treated through different types of treatment. Allopathy treatment is around 90%, and others it's less than 6%. I mean, in total, if you aggregate. So this is to treat the different treatments. What the people are using, more than 90% they use allopathy, and hospitalized cases it is less than 1%. So use of Ayush for hospital-based care is less than 1%. Now look at the contrast. So which one is true actually? Which one is true? Both are true. Both are true. Now what is it? So use of herbal drugs, yes, many of us we are using herbal drugs, but not to treat the illness or disease. We are taking, we are taking ashwagandha rasayana, we are taking chawanprash, we are taking some aristadi gutika, vati, something we are taking for you know whatever for somebody told, some doctors told, we are using it. So that accounts to more than 70%. But when you go to treatment, okay, you have a disease. So same example I have given you. You have diabetes. What drug you are taking? Maybe you are taking glycoside, metformin, glimepiride. Okay, but are you taking herbal drug to treat diabetes? No. But you are taking, Karela, you are taking the neem, you are taking, some other things. So this is what actually the mismanagement which is happening. Sometimes the blood sugar goes so low, people may die. So because you are also the herbal drug what you are taking is also having hypoglycemic effect, and you are also taking the oral hypoglycemic agents. So this is the one problem. Another problem is, though that herbal drugs are very efficacious, but the people are not using it, or another way around we can tell that those are not prescribed to treat the any illness. So this is what is the glaring the differences, or what you call the big valley between the Ayush systems and the allopathic system, that how we are actually utilizing these two systems of medicine. So both are correct, but people are taking on their own for some purpose. But when it comes to treatment in hospitals, nobody actually use the Ayush drugs in India. So this is the thing. So with that, this is the further data by an author, Rudra et al. Extensive analysis they have done, like only less than around 7% of people they use Ayush drugs. If you come to that including homeopathy, look at here, actually homeopathy they use more than the Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani. And the one important thing I want to highlight here, as the age proceeds, actually increase of ice drugs is more. I mean, they use more of this thing. So in children, they use more. Young people, they do not use ice drugs, but old people, you look at here, they use more. And for chronic illness, they use more, and for acute illness, they use less of ice drugs. So here, especially in the rural India, for chronic illness, especially 60% and above, they use 7.6 percentage of population they use Ayush drugs, and for chronic illness, yes, they use more, not for acute illness. So these are the ways that how our population are using the medicine. This is a state-wise, in which state uh, how they are using the Indian system of medicine. Surprisingly, these small states and northeast states, they are using very less amount of population they use the Ayush drugs. And very surprisingly, even Andhra, Telangana together, they use very less of Ayush drugs. The reasons, I'm not going through the full reasons, but I just want to show you, statistics where in some states a huge large amount of Ayush drugs, but in some states very less. Tripura 0, Telangana 1%, Andhra Pradesh 0.2%. So like this is the population they use. So a lot of research has to be done that why it is so, why in different states the different utilization is there. To summarize the Indian scenario of use of herbals, we have strong Indian system of medicines. Homeopathy, though it is not originated in India, but we use more actually when compared to other countries. But we have a strong Indian system of medicines. Use of herbs is increasing day by day, and governments are keen to employ Irish doctors in primary health care. It is very much interested to integrate the health system. And why people use herbal drugs? When there is no or easy access to allopathic medicines, then they use herbal drugs. People use herbals as supplements to be healthy and well-being, not actually for treating. Use more herbals for health benefit, especially in chronic diseases they use more. In case of acute ailments, patients prefer allopathic to a large extent. This is what the summary of these previous slides, like use of India. Now, what is actually required? A patient, is moving around allopathic drugs, then he's doing yoga, meditation. You go to Ayush hospital, there he get a different treatment. Actually, the allopathic doctor says, he strictly discourages the use of the traditional medicine or herbal medicine. And the Ayush doctor says that you can use both. So the patient, ultimately what he does, we do not know. So and he has to wander, he will not get all this, the concrete uh, the information and awareness of the treatment at one setup. So he's roaming around, so we do not have this system, so we don't want this. So what we want is a patient should be holistically treated. So one place everything should be available. There should be Ayush system, there should be allopathic system. So in harmoniously they have to treat the patient. So this is what is required, and this is what actually I advocate. So what is required for this is change of mindset. We have to create the awareness through inclusivity. We have to collaborate, we have to do research. So this is what is actually required. The very important thing is change the mindset, especially of the modern medicine practitioners, like, to convince them that is by research and evidences. We have to show them, see, look at here. So this is what is more potent, less toxic. So it can reduce the adverse reactions of other drug. It has less toxicity, so it is better than that drug, so we can use. So that sort of the connectivity should come between the Ayush doctors and the modern practitioners. And then of course change of policy. Without this change of policy which government has to take, it is not possible, but now they are doing it. So what education regulations has to be done, like how it happens in the US, allow medical students and Ayush to study common subjects. uh, Now the in India, they do not have any scope to study these herbal drugs or Ayush systems. So nothing is there. Whereas Ayush drugs, I mean the practitioners, I mean student, they completely study the whatever Ayurveda or homeopathy, Unani. They do get their training in the allopathic hospitals, but actually they are not studying. So again, they are very much separated from each other. And medical students, they do not study the ISM, and vice versa, I told you. So we have to ask them study pharmacology of drugs and their properties, PG diploma, certification programs, and so on. It has to be done. And of course, regulatory changes are must. So without the regulatory changes, again, we cannot achieve the integration. See, look at Ayush. What is happening now is there is a control over manufacturing for Ayush drugs. You have to take license, GMP, GLP, whatever, CGMP and all. But there is no control over sale. This is what I told. Whatever I want, I can go and I can pick up from the Ayurvedic formulary, Ayurvedic shop, and take it. This is what is happening. It's not good. Okay. So whereas allopathic medicine in both the cases very strict. So to get prescription, except some OTC drugs, there are clear guidelines for everything. So research, yes, to find and prove the evidence of efficacy, to show that its quality is very high, and show that this drug interactions are not there, that is herb drug or herb food interactions are not happening, and finally we have to make a strategy, so then we can uh, come together for integration of the system. So then there are of course challenges, there are quality issues, because the herbs are the natural products, they grow in the nature. You really cannot control like how they have to behave, every time, they are manipulated by the external forces in the nature. So they keep on changing, their phytochemicals keep changing, their yield is changing. So but still, with the proper guidelines, we can keep their qualities by providing, proper processing, harvesting, and quality control. And of course, we need a better infrastructure. Pharmacovigilance of herbs now. Herbovigilance is coming into the picture. That's a welcome move. Herbovigilance, clinical trials. You have to do more and more clinical trials of the herbal drugs. You need to protect their quasi IPR and biopiracy, and avoid irrational use. This is what is happening. Like whatever we want, we go and get it and use, and of course R&D. So these are the challenges. We have lack of financial support, the lack of mechanism to monitor safety, and lack of education and training in TCM providers. There are also cultural barriers, lack of support from central governments and institutions. The beliefs and attitudes are different, and decelerate the integration of TCM within national health systems, particularly in primary care centers. So these are the challenges like which we have to overcome to integrate. Yes, government wants to merge allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda into one system. By 2030, it want to launch. So what's important for us as a pharmacognosist and pharmacist, like this is where we have to involve. We are actually the main link between these two. Without I mean, what I mean to say that we are the important links, and we should not get de-aligned or de-alienated with these two systems. We have to initiate, we have to take way forward, we have to take one step ahead of them in bringing these two systems together. We have a larger role to play. These facts, figures, policies, whatever I have shown, plans and opinions, these are all debatable. This is totally my views and statistics what I have shown. So it is not that who is right or who is wrong. What is right? What is right? So that we need to take it. And argument is, of course, arguments are necessary so that we will find a way forward. And I just wanted to ignite the spark that 2030, another 10 years is very short time of period, so that we have to gear up for ourselves to embrace this new marriage between Ayush and allopathy. So that is what I try to just ignite a spark. So it is just like you know for train, of course two lanes are required. So one is Ayush and allopathy. So but only these two, without these, the pillars to connect between the two bars of railway tracks, then we will not achieve. So we have to be these the pillars columns which join these two tracks in between. So the V pharmacist pharmacognosis has to connect these two systems of medicine. We don't want independently Ayush, we don't want allopathy independently, but we want together whichever the best that we have to provide it to patients. So with this, I'm completing. These are the references. But before uh, going to question answer, I thank my institute, Jessica Pharmacy, and our university, JSS Academy of Higher Education Research, my colleagues, Dr. J. Suresh, Paramakrishnan, Haripriya, and my colleague from pharmaceutics, Mr. Hemant Kumar, provide a lot of statistics to me. And before closing, to all of you, one announcement I want to make with the permission of the chair. Like in April 22nd to 24th, we are organizing Society for Ethnopharmacology International Congress. This is the ninth International Congress of Society for Ethnopharmacology. We are hosting this. This is on 22nd to 24th April 2022. It is a physical congress. It is not online. It is offline international congress. So there is 1 day uh, pre-congress workshop is there in LCMSMS, identification of phytochemicals, LCMSMS, and one stream B on identification of, screening of phytochemicals using different cell lines. So 1 day pre-congress workshop in stream A, stream B, and then 3 days international congress. 100 speakers, out of that 50% from industry and international speakers, and lot of activities are there. I request everyone to please visit website. So the flyer is there, and you can visit this website, and you please get online. I warmly invite all of you to attend this international congress. With this, I close my session, and thank you so much. And this is open for discussion now.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with our participants. You clearly explained the importance of traditional medicine and complementary medicine. As said by sir, India is a rich of traditional medicines, and sir also gave some website addresses also, which are very useful to our participants, sir. And there is a lot of scope for research in our traditional medicine, and hope this knowledge we will share it to our next generations also. And as said by you, sir, there should be a collaboration of all the systems to treat the patients correctly. Yeah, hope this type of system will come in upcoming generations that will be useful in India also. Thank you very much, sir, once again for spending your valuable time to share your knowledge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
I hope they understood very well, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.